All right. So it's still day three. Um, oh, I'm gonna get comfortable here. Oh, so today was a lot of up and down. Um, the ups were good ups, so I'll say that. But the downs, ooh, I was down hard, man. I I was in a real bad way earlier today. So, and I touched on this, I think, on my first um, post this morning, but Don's will, it seems like it's not on the up and up. It seems like it might not be valid, of course. Just gonna try to hold it like this. It seems Don's will is not valid. Um, we still need to review it some more, but that's really unfortunate. It's frustrating because Don was pretty damn organized, and he was absolutely convinced that everything was going to be just fine with the documents that we have. Seems like we're not going to be, which means probate. And we have to get lawyers involved and, uh, you know, who actually controls the estate. And overall, I'm not entirely bothered by that. I don't think it'll be that difficult. I am concerned about what it's going to cost. That's going to be a big expense that my friend Debbie and we don't know what the hell we're going to do uh, about the expense of paying for the probate and the lawyers and all that shit. But um, it came into question today, while I spent time talking to a couple people. It's somebody very close to Don, who knows almost more about Don than anyone and what he does and what he did and what he was doing. Um, it came into question as to whether or not my co-ownership of this house is, I'm not going to say not valid, but I don't know, incomplete maybe. Um, See, I co-own this house. Don put me on the 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 mortgage, on the loan over a year ago, or maybe a year and a half, roughly. Well, it's probably just been a little over 1 year ago. And the idea was, and still is, has been, that um, by putting me on the loan, when someday he passes away, all I would need to do is take a copy of the death certificate to the mortgage company, and his name would be able to be removed, and I would then be the sole owner of this house. Um, which also means that the the house would not even be a factor in what would be considered Don's estate. Um, had he not done that, then anything that would be potentially in question or in conflict or, um, you know, any of that would be, his vehicles, his bank accounts, and the house. But since I am the co-owner, it's excluded from any estate. No person or the state of Washington would be able to take away something that I co-own, right? So that's the thought. Um, some of the information I got today seemed to contradict that. And it came from a credible source, a person who's extremely knowledgeable in so many things. So I have no reason to question it, but it scared the shit out of me. A lot. More scared than I've probably ever been. Because suddenly, what was into question was that, just simply putting me on the loan wasn't enough. That I don't actually co-own anything. All I am able to do is be responsible for the payments. It has nothing to do with co-ownership, and these are things I'm being told, and I'm freaking out. Um, I wasn't just freaking out. It was full blown panic attack. I mean, all of a sudden, I was faced with the possibility that, knowing that the will seems to not be legit, that effectively means there isn't a will at all. And, if I don't have proper rights to the house, then it could be possible that someone or the state could take possession of the house in certain circumstances. Um, like, for example, if we were not able to pay the lawyer fees for the probate. Um, and I panicked. I panicked big time. Um, I'm not crying now because I feel better. We got past it, and I'll get to that. But I was absolutely inconsolable. I was hyperventilating. I honestly thought I was going to have to call 911 for myself. It was that bad. Wow. When your entire body goes completely numb, you're incapable of producing more tears. Uh, your heart's beating a mile a minute. The thought that the one thing Don wanted most for me out of all this was for me to stay in this house. He had so many wonderful memories here, uh, with so many people over the course of the 35 years he's lived in this house. Amazing times with his former partner, Greg. Amazing times with wonderful friends and family. Wonderful times with me. Um, and he wanted me to stay in this house and make new memories with new people for as long as I want. And that's what I want. And the thought that could be ripped away when I thought everything was in place perfectly, I can't even describe in words how terrifying that was. Um, but but I started reaching out to my people, the people who care so much, so much more than I thought. Um, I got a hold of my cousin in New Jersey, someone that I really only recently met. This is someone I didn't even know existed, and then I met her for the first time just in December, just 3 months ago, and I reached out for help. Just I need to talk to somebody. I need advice, and I sent a text message to about 5 different people. Um, Most of them responded. Debbie was the first, my cousin, Deb, um, and she talked me down quite a bit. I was starting to feel a fair bit better, but that was also right before my funeral home appointment, so I didn't get the chance to talk to her for too long. But she did help calm me down. She seemed to be under the belief that I am right, and what Don and I did was right, and that's the information I got prior was incorrect, that I was working myself up for nothing. Um, and I went to the funeral home, and I was super crazy nervous still at that point. The anxiety was still there, but the funeral home was good, as I put in my um, last video. And I walked out of that pretty good, but I was still, having to face the panic from before and that issue, and I managed to get on a call with my dear, wonderful family member Jack, who talked to me some more and further confirmed that it seems that the way it is and the way we want it to be is exactly the right way to go. It was a full refinance. Don had the house himself, a loan for the house himself, the mortgage, and he refinanced it. And in that refinance, it wasn't just him; it was us. We refinanced the house together. So it is legitimately, my house, our house. We are both jointly responsible for it, and now that he's gone with the death certificate, it's going to be mine. That's just how it works. And it hasn't this house is completely excluded from any estate that the irrelevant will would you know this wouldn't be a part of any contest for the will through the probate. It would just be his bank accounts and his two vehicles. They can't take away something that I own. So I got really worked up so much, but I'm glad I was able to come down. And to Deb and to Jack, thank you. I don't know what I would do without the good, wonderful, beautiful, amazing people in my life. And yeah. So the day ended on a high note. I'm happy for that. So I'm going to force tomorrow to be a good day. Tomorrow, my friend Debbie is actually going to come over and bring the will with her. She was going to come today, but she ended up getting kind of sick, so she didn't come over. But tomorrow she will, and we will actually go through the will together, and we'll go from there. We're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to make this work administratively. The paperwork stuff, the legal stuff, somehow it's going to work its way out, and hopefully it won't cost too much money, because we don't have too much money. We ain't rich people. So here's hoping for a good day tomorrow, and I'm happy to make my last video of the day one with a smile.